Hi everyone, Helen here from A Little Lime. Welcome. Today I want to share with you guys how I created the layered blossoms and leaves on this page, the white stag from Kerby Rosanes Mythomorphia. Okay, let's do it. To start with, I have used a fairly thin watercolour and a fan brush, and I'm just creating a spatter underneath the blossom clusters. Now this goes everywhere, but I actually like this messy look to my pages. I don't know what that says about me, but that's the way it is. Okay, next I'm just using a thin watercolour to establish some colour on the page where the flowers are. I'm very messy with this. I'm not too careful. I use two shades of red, a dark red and an orange red, just to, as I said, give a bit of a shape and a bit of a feel for the clusters, but it's really very rough patting in of the colour. Next, I'm using Languo acrylic markers. Now, I hardly ever use these, but they are great for doing things like leaves. You can just see how where I want to get the leaf shape, I will just push down on the tip to kind of get that point. My granddaughter uses these a lot, and the tips do become a little bit rough on them. Next, I'm going to come in with a lighter colour. So these are both just lime greens. I'm adding extra leaves where I feel I need them through the groups of blossoms. Yeah, so again, just sort of using that press down and lift technique to create the leaf shapes. It doesn't really matter if they're a bit rough. I mostly just wanted to cover a little bit of the lines to take away that outline look. I'm now going to go over the leaves in two colours of watercolour mica paint, a dark green and a brighter limey green. These are twinkling H2Os, which are no longer available, but any mica watercolour paint will do the job and create a really nice shimmer effect when you move the page. Now I'm going to start adding a bit more colour to the blossoms. We're going to use Gansai Tambi paint from Kuretake, and I'm adding a couple of shades of red and a pink blossom just to establish the flowers. I'm just loosely putting in petals. I add additional petals to kind of the top of the bunches of blossoms as well. Just keep it very fluid and loose. Okay, coming in with some of the lighter red now. I'm aiming to get a bit of a coverage on the line and just fill out the blossoms a little bit. Okay, coming in with the blossom pink now. This will start to really give the flowers a little bit more depth because you're bringing forward some of the petals with the lighter colour. And yeah, I just, again, flick them in wherever, trying not to overwhelm it. I'm not trying to paint every petal. I just want to establish a bit of light and dark within the flowers. I'm just softening up a little bit here by blending the red and the pink a bit. You can see that a little bit better here. This is a bit of a messy looking bud. So I'm just adding some colour in, and you'll see I come back in just a second to blend it down. I'm just coming in now with a clean damp brush just to blend that pink down a little bit into the previous layers. It's a good idea when you're doing these layered flowers to let each layer dry before you move on to the next one. Otherwise you are going to create muddy colours because the layers will all mix together, and you do want to get a balance of dark and light. Okay, and again with the H2Os, this one's a really quite kind of bright magenta, so I'm just putting it here and there on random petals so that I can get the little bit of shimmer. I'm just going along now and taking a look at my work and re-establish some petals where I think I need it. If it's become just kind of an indistinctive blob, I will add in maybe a bit more dark or a bit more of the lighter pink just to, give it a bit of dimension. I'm doing the same thing again with the blossom pink paint, just bringing forward the flowers a bit, covering a few more lines where I think it needs a bit of lightening up. flower centres are added with the Posca pen. You can put them wherever you've got a little bit of a cluster of petals. And lastly, I come in with a gel pen and just create loose outlines on some of the petals to, I don't know, it just adds a bit of lightness to it and creates that quite delicate, fragile look, I think, that suits the blossoms. So just with a really light touch, I add a few lines here and there. Here's the finished page. I'm really happy with it. I love how it turned out, and I've got a couple of shimmer shots for you as well, done on my phone, so they're a little bit skinnier. But you can just see the flashing of the leaves here, a little bit from the flowers and on the bird. It's also on the mushrooms and the butterflies. I love shimmer. All right, see you next time. Bye.